Morning, YouTube, and it is indeed a bright and sunshiny morning here in Ohio. What in the world am I yakking about today? Well, I want to take a few minutes and talk about the Tri-Pack, Atomizer, and glow plug service kit that you can get from Thermo King retailers. Depending on your preference, you can also find an aftermarket version of this kit on Amazon for significantly less money. For example, the Amazon aftermarket version of this kit is about $30, 35 depending on, who the seller is or whatever. By comparison, the Thermo King, the official Thermo King parts, this kit is $250. That was a bit of sticker shock that surprised the snot out of me when I saw that, but I went ahead and bought the Thermo King parts anyway, just because I figured, well, this is my first time doing this and I want to put proper parts on my Espar bunk heater that I know that, at least for the most part, will work, and I'll get decent lifespan out of them, at least based on my rudimentary understanding of the components themselves. Now, I've done the glow plug and atomizer screen service. What I have not done yet is this, what I'm assuming is the fuel line screen. I haven't done this yet because I want to take my time and sort of be able to absorb the risk of needing to spend a lot of time getting the unit out to expose the fuel line and then making that replacement. So this will be down the road a little bit. But what I do want to talk about are the glow plug and also the atomizer screen. But before I get too carried away, this is the socket, however you want to call this, socket tool that you will need, that you can get from Thermo King. It's about $11, $12, $13, again, depending on what the price is at the given shop that you're purchasing from. And you will notice it is slotted here. And of course, you got the port there. You can put a screwdriver through, so you can just use a basic, let me grab my Phillips head here, so I've got it handy. One YouTube video I saw, you just use this to torque down the glow plug. And speaking of the glow plug, why you need that, for those of you who may not have any idea, the glow plug, this is the old one, looks like this. And you got to be mindful of these two wires here. And as a result, you're going to end up with this tool slotting over the glow plug like that. It's a 12mm socket, as it were. Now, if you're just going to replace this plug no matter what, you've got a 12mm deep well socket, you can just probably cut these wires off if you don't care. You're just going to scrap the part anyway. I wasn't sure if my glow plug was bad. I'm still not entirely sure if it is or not, but I went ahead and replaced it anyway, because when I was examining the glow plug after I got it out, you'll notice, if you can see, if it'll resolve right there. I'm not sure if that's a sign this plug should have been replaced. I wasn't able really to find a conclusive batch of evidence to say, yes, this is when you need to know. This is when you know that your glow plug is going bad or it needs to be replaced. This white mark on the otherwise graphite colored plug itself seemed to indicate to me that this plug was just about done. But again, I'm not 100% sure. I just decided to just say, you know what, let's just go ahead, let's just replace it. Because I have no idea if this was done when I had my Espar unit service. I'm assuming it was, but again, I don't know, because my Espar heater, instead of having a problem with the glow plug, It had a problem with the fan motor. The fan motor wasn't working properly, and I believe that took up the lion's share of the work when they were doing the diagnostic process. So again, I don't remember if this was replaced or not. I'm sure, I would assume it was, and that was done in the fall of 2021. So this is a year and a half old if it was replaced. And you'll notice that on the socket portion, I've got a lot of, rounded edges here, because the problem I had is that whoever installed this particular plug last time the unit was serviced, or when this service was performed, they used a 12 millimeter sensor socket, and instead of just snugging down this glow plug, they tightened it down. So I had to get a separate tool that was slotted, that was made of a bit more sterner stuff in order to get this plug out, because this, even though it's a decent tool and it will let you snug down your glow plug, the official Thermo King video that explains how to do your atomizer and glow plug service says you should not tighten, just snug it down, and you should only need to use this tool. The fact that I had to buy another tool in order to get this plug out suggests to me, actually no, it confirms to me that whoever did the service didn't do it quite properly, because you shouldn't need any tool, ideally, you shouldn't need any tool more complicated than this, which you can get from Thermo King directly, to get the glow plug in and out. But as a note, this tool that you get from Thermo King that they sell, and it also comes in the aftermarket, the aftermarket Espar heater service kits for the glow plugs and atomizer screens. This is not really strong metal. It might be steel. I have no idea. It could be aluminum. I really have no idea. But it is not very strong. And part of the reason I have these rounded edges here is because when I was trying to use this tool to get this plug out, it was so tight in the port that this was actually starting, it was flexing enough and rounding out and just sort of sliding off the glow plug. And that was a problem, obviously. So I had to get another tool in order to be able to get this out and really see what I was working with. So when I saw, the condition of the plug, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I want this to work because I'm still in a wintertime situation. Let's just go ahead and replace it. And this way, if I didn't need to, oh well, lesson learned the hard way. But if I did need to, it's done. So there you go. And then, of course, the next portion of this service job is the atomizer screen, which is a tiny little screen. Looks like this. This is the one that came out, and you can see I had to munch it there on the edge in order to get it out of the glow plug port. And the condition of this, it's pretty bad. I mean, I'm not intelligent enough in the ways of Espar heaters to say, yeah, this screen, just needed to be replaced, or it could have gone another year or whatever. I don't have that information, but judging on based on its condition, I am not at all displeased that I have gone ahead to replace it, because now I know I've got a nice, bright, shiny silver screen in there that's fresh, that's new, and because it is early March 2023, there is a chance there's more blizzards coming through the U.S. because that's the kind of world we live in, where being from Chicagoland, the threat of snow does not go away until May. And I have driven through snow in Chicagoland in May, so it doesn't go away anytime soon, at least not until the sun's really out for sure and it's sticking around. But this portion is actually probably the easiest to do, because you've got these 3 pinch welds there. There's a whole video that Thermo King put out on how to do this install, but I want to talk, I'm just really not here to tell you how this is supposed to be done, because Thermo King did a better job, and there's other YouTubers that have done much better jobs than I could do, which is totally fine. I'm only here to talk about the condition of the parts that I replaced. And hopefully those of you folks out there who are looking to do your own Espar heater service in order to save the money, because, you know, an hour of labor at Thermo King is probably, you know, 200 something or $150 or whatever in 2023 money. And then of course you got the service kit, which is $230, $240, $250 from them. So you're looking at, you know, a $400, $500 job just to do, you know, this service. So even if you get the $30 aftermarket kit and you're willing to run the risk on having to do that literally once a year, or if maybe more depending on which kind of climate you operate in. I have no idea how long these things are supposed to last, because again, I don't remember if that glow plug was replaced in 2021 or not. I really don't remember it at all. I'm assuming it was, but again, I don't have the invoice in front of me. I should have looked it up. I have it somewhere in my files. I just don't remember where. I didn't want to look it up to do this video, so we're just going to wing it. But anyway, the condition of this part when I pulled it out made me think it was just a good idea to replace it. And then of course you need to take a little pick tool and get into the air port there, the airflow port, so you can clean the soot out of that. You need to watch out for soot buildup anywhere down in that glow plug port, and you can scrape that away with a pick tool or a bore cleaner brush if you are a firearms enthusiast and you have those kinds of tools, or if you are an Espar heater magician, you know these systems in and out, you probably already have the tools you need anyway, and why you're watching my video. But anyway, so yeah, these parts are the ones that I replaced, and I'm not at all sad that I replaced them, because again, I don't know what the longevity is on these parts. I really have no idea. And for all I know, you know, Thermo King buys the exact same parts from, you know, whoever makes the aftermarket kits, and they just put their name on the side of the box, and they mark up the price literally almost, you know, 10 times, as it were, you know, 5, 6, 8 times markup, because why not? They can. So, you know, it's just annoying. But this depth setting tool is super handy, because if you just try to shove this thing down in there, you're not going to have a good time, where this will actually get you in. And then thankfully, because of the way this tool is set, it will just push this atomizer screen right into position, and you'll be fine, good to go. But again, I'm really not here to tell you how to do the job. It's just, this is the condition of the part when I pulled it out of the glow plug port to make the replacement. So there it is. And why I'm saving these parts really is to do this video. This glow plug, I'll probably end up just tossing it. I have no idea, just because I don't know what the longevity of these parts actually is, and I don't feel like just collecting a lot of odds and ends to store in my truck or in some box somewhere if I'm not going to use these things ever again. Probably after I do the what I'm assuming is the fuel line screen, the fuel line filter, whatever. Yeah, it's just literally says it's a screen. That's all it is. After I do that replacement, I will probably just pitch this kit. I'll keep this tool, because now that I've done the glow plug swap myself, I know I won't need to rely on my other tool. I mean, I probably could, but I like the idea of being able to just take a Phillips head and let me show that again with a more accurate demonstration, as it were. Or just take this, slot in, and then just lightly torque it down, as opposed to needing to crank it down with a socket or something like that. So yeah, good times. Sticker shock is a wonderful thing, wonderfully terrible thing. So yeah. Now, I don't know the quality of the aftermarket parts for the Espar heater in terms of the glow plug or the atomizer screen. I'm assuming they are at least decent quality, that you can get a season out of them for sure. What I mean by season is one cold weather period where you need to use your bunk heater as a truck driver. I'm assuming they're at least good enough to accomplish that. And then, it's $30 for every kit, at least according to what I saw in February 2023. So if that holds true, great. It's an easy repair, easy service you can do yourself. Once you figure out the ins and outs of how to do it, if it takes you longer than half an hour, you're taking your deer sweet time about it. It really is about a 10 to 15 minute job at the most, depending on how tight your glow plug is, or if you spend a lot of time with a pick tool just trying to get soot out of the glow plug's port, because soot does build up around there. And I could see down into the burner chamber that I've got some soot buildup as well. So probably, this coming fall, winter 2023, I'll probably take the whole unit out of my baggage compartment and, tear it down and try to clean all that soot out of the burner chamber, just to ensure that I'm going to have a good quality working unit for next winter. So, fun times. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. I will see you down the road.